Hey folks, welcome back to another Vegan 42 podcast. A lot of shit's gone down around the Brisbane area in the last couple of weeks, but we're all high and dry here. And Beeb over in Jakarta, how you going, buddy?
Good, mate. Good. High here. It's raining here too, but not like it's been in Brisbane, right? Or in the East Coast. So I hope everyone's well.
Yeah, but everyone I know is safe and sound, so all good. So look, we're going to get into our pre-season show today, mate. It's been a while since we've done our last cast, and we probably left it a little bit late, but we're going to jump into our view on what the pre-season of the NRL is going to be. And we're going to start off what we think our big improvers from the 2021 season are going to be. And I'll kick it off, mate, and I'll start with my pet hate, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm going to go with the Broncos. They were 14th last year and had a seven-win season, which just is not good enough. But they did make a few good pickups, and the main one is going to be Reynolds in the halves. He's just such a difference maker. I firmly believe he's going to get them over the line in a couple of those close games that they probably didn't win last year. His kicking's just next level, including goal kicking. And let's not forget Katoni Staggs missed a lot of last season, and he's a superstar, and he'll be really good in the back line, and I'm tipping him to score a lot of tries. And good, bad, or indifferent, they've signed Kevy Walters for another year into 2023. So at least they got a bit of solidity there, I guess, in the coaching staff. There's no uncertainty, but far out. They can keep signing Kevy as long as they want, as far as I'm concerned, my friend.
Right, can. Look, Broncos got a few good ins, but can Kevy coach? No, right? So I think they're going to be in that mushy middle. I don't see them really making the top 8, but they'll be better than last year. How can they be worse than last year when they pick up Reynolds?
Yeah.
Capewell, you get the centre back, right? Good luck to them. I mean, I think the league is better when the Broncos are competitive, but it's always fun to see them come last.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of took the soft option there. How can they be worse than last year? Well, 2 years ago, they were the Spooners. So, look, yeah, I can't see them making the 8, but I think they will come somewhere around 10 this year. That's just my take. So,
yeah.
All right, buddy, your pick on big improvers?
Yeah. Look, no surprise. A little bit of bias here. I'm taking the Mighty Dragons. 11th last year, competitive, never, competitive, but not, never challenged the top teams. Ran into a few problems with a barbecue, which really derailed the season. But to be honest, they were kind of fringe top 8 anyway before that, right? So what I do like is that they really improved their forward depth. I know you have question marks over the forwards, but I think Jaden Sewell was a massive in the second row. And Francis Molo gives another good bit of punch, be it in the starting lineup or off the bench. Then, the other guys, Aaron Woods, look, he was great 7 years ago. He's pretty average now. So I don't see him really delivering a lot, but him and Burgess, if you can get 15 minutes out of each of them, I think we'll be all right. So that, as well as, they've dumped Dufty. They've got Sloan, who's going to be playing fullback. He looks a much more solid option than Dufty. Dufty in the trial proved he can attack, but also just a flag in defence, right? So I'm quite hopeful, right? Pick up another good attacking weapon in Sully in the centres. Question on whether he can defend, but we'll see where it is, right? So I've got them coming in the top 8, which we'll go through a little bit later. But look, I think we all know the difference between coming 6th or 7th and coming 13th is going to be a couple of 2-point wins and maybe a bit of luck on injuries, right? But go you Dragons.
Yeah, and look, fair point there. I watched your pre-season games, and yeah, I was really hard on the forwards that you picked up. Actually looked fairly decent, the ones that played, of course. but way better than I thought. My concern is around your hooking depth. McCulloch is really the only guy you've got. Anything happens there, then Hunt probably has to shift into hooker.
Well, Moses Mbai will play there, I think, right? So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right. That is a big concern.
So, but look, yeah, I probably got the Dragons coming somewhere around that 8th to 11th position now. I've bumped them up a spot or two based on their preseason form. So, yeah, I won't be quite as harsh on them this year. But all right, so a couple of teams that we think might be on the slippery slope and maybe headed for a few lean years. And my pick is the Knights. I just think with Mitchell Pearce leaving, that's just too big of a hole. That team was lucky to make the 8, in my opinion, last year. And a lot of that was due to Pearce. Now he's gone. I just can't see how they're going to do that. They picked up Clifford, obviously, who was an Australian under-19 player. He's a good player, but he did nothing for the Cows. And Ponga, I don't know, he just doesn't seem to be that guy that lit the league up a few years ago. He's still very, very good. But I just think unless Ponga goes on a Tommy Turbo type of tear, then I just can't see the Knights making the 8, and I got them slipping out and probably coming around 10th.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick, right? They got the reserve grade halfback from the Dragons, Adam Clune, who's going to be their number 7 this year. Good organizer, but not a great attacking threat. So I think that's a really good pick, right? So given that you took them, the easy pick for me would be the Cowboys, but they were already stunk last year. I think they'll stink again. So I'm taking the Titans, and I know that you won't like this run, right? But they snuck into the top 8 last year. But I do see some big risks with this team, right? Got a good forward pack. I think there's a question mark around their hooker, right? As to whether Aaron Clark or Tanner Boyd is going to be durable enough to play that sort of spot. I see them probably going with a dual combo. But then I look at your halves, and you've got Toby Sexton, who didn't think was all that quick as a halfback for a 21-year-old. He's got no excuse for losing his speed. And then AJ Brimson, who, you want to be packing him in cotton wool because he's often injured. And outside of that, I don't know where you're going to go to next if you have a problem with one of those two boys, right? So good forward pack, but I just see the question around your halves and whether or not they can turn up enough wins in 2022 for you guys to sneak in the 8.
Yeah, really hard to disagree with a couple of those comments, particularly around the halves. I'm less concerned about our hooking depth. I think Aaron Clark was really solid last year, and I think he'll be all the better for getting a season under his belt with us. Worried about Tanner Boyd being the backup, but all reports in preseason are he's beefed up and he's loving it.
He has. I mean, when you saw him in the trial game, I was surprised at how big he looked, right? So, but the thing here is that, we're not talking one game or 4 games. You've got to play a whole season, right? And that's a much different situation than a month. You can get away with a month, right? And I guess it's similar to what you said about the Dragons, right? I don't see Moses Mbai being a full season hooker as a backup, right? So anyway, I mean, hey, we all start from 0 points. We all start full of hope, right? So hopefully we outperform.
And let's be honest, I'm full of hope with the halves that we've got in the Titans because they are completely unproven. So there's nothing there to lean on to say, oh, yeah, but what did they do last year? Well, it was stuff all. Brimson was injured and Sexton filled in a couple of games. And you're right, he's slower than the guy who let go to the Raiders. And he got tackled by Fafita.
By
Papali. So anyway, look, we do have a young kid, Paul Turner, come over from the Warriors as well, which I don't really know. I don't know a lot about him, but I've heard good reports. He might slip into that spot should Sexton slip up. So, but anyway, good pick, mate. There's massive risk with the Titans. Obviously, I'm cheering them all on, but yeah. If they make the 8 again, I'll be pretty happy. So, All right then, mate. Well, now we're going to jump into what we see as our top 8 teams, and I'm going to jump through mine, and then you can go through yours. And I've got the Roosters, who are going to just bounce back after all the injuries they had last year, and they still made the 8 and were still pretty competitive. They are going to be a really hard team to beat this year, and I've got them coming top over Storm, who will cover some of their losses that they had last year. I don't see that being a big issue. Panthers, always hard to back up, so I see them coming third. Rabbits to drop a little bit with no Reynolds, but they do have a really good halfback to come in. There's lots of good reports about this kid, but good luck to him, I say. Eels, Manly, Sharks to be a really good team this year. I think I was impressed with their preseason. And of course, I'm going to throw the Titans in there as top 8.
Fantastic, right? I think it's a very open competition this year, right? I mean, I was really concerned about Penrith's lack of depth, but through the trial, geez, it looked like they got a lot of good young kids still coming through, right? So my top 8, I've got Para winning the minor premiership. I think this is a big year for them, right? Yeah, so there you go. I'm off the board, right? Penrith coming in second. They've lost a few players, but, Tago, young kid, going to play in the centres by the look of it, looks like a good thing. And just, the depth that they seem to have of young kids coming through. You don't need people coming off the bench playing 60 minutes, right? So I can see them being able to blood some of those kids to be playing 20 minutes or so and not dropping off too much, right? So I see them being up there, but probably not winning the minor premiership this year. Manly, riding on the back of Tommy Turbo, but, Turbo to Saab, right? They get on the outside of you and it's lights out, right? So I got Manly in third.
That was a one-off year, surely.
Hey, what a year. It was better than Jared Haynes' year 10 years ago, right? I mean, it was just insane, right? So I've got the Cox coming in fourth, right? I do think they'll be better, but, I don't see them as being streets ahead. I still think that they've got some question marks in their backs. And then, is Sam Walker durable enough to play a season, right? Let's see, right? So, and even more importantly, can he back up and win the Rookie of the Year again, right? So, no one's ever done it. Fifth, I've got the Storm. I've got them missing the top 4, right? I think they're gonna go through a bit of a change this year, the Storm, right? So, and they're gonna hit a few hard times, and they got a few guys leaving. They got a bunch of guys leaving, right? Next year, right?
Next year.
Bellyache's got a big job ahead this year, right? But I see them missing the top 4. Sharks coming in 6th. I've got the Rabbits 7th, and then the Mighty Dragons finishing up the top 8th. So look, we're pretty much the same, other than the Dragons and the Tits being different teams, right? To fill in 8th, which is no surprise given our biases, but the composition very different, right? Which I like. It shows there's an openness to the competition, right? So,
you know what I find just stunning, and for the last 10 years, you would never have thought it. Neither of us picked the Raiders to make the 8.
Yeah, true.
Unreal.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go on to the Wooden Spooners for 2022. Now, there's lots of contenders. There's probably a couple of relatively, I would think, easy picks to think for this, but I'm going to think the Dogs can repeat. Their preseason form was horrendous, and I think they'll be better. They won't win 3 games. I reckon they'll be 5. That's my pick for the year. Dogs 5 for the year and retain the spoon.
I'll take the over on that. 5 games. Geez, they've turned over half their roster, and everyone that they brought in is better than who they had before, right? So,
nearly all back.
Well, yeah, but geez, go through their forward pack, right? You've got Thompson and Paul Vaughan in your front row. Marshall King's okay as a hooker, right? Right? Honestly, I don't think their forward pack's too bad. Right?
Yeah, okay.
So I question their depth once you get out of their top 13, though, right? That's the thing. But if you would ask me, would I put money on the Fox winning the try scorer award, which we'll get into a bit later? Zero chance, right? He's going to be Nick Cottridge second, right?
Yeah.
So this year, right? So I've got the Cowboys to win the spoon. I think this is quite an easy one. When your prize recruit is Chad Townsend, who I think is the worst halfback to ever win a premiership. For me, it's a lay down, easy one for the Cowboys. I certainly hope the Tigers don't make it interesting, and I hope the Dragons don't make that interesting. Right? So.
Yeah, look, fair call. It's really hard to think the Cowboys can be anywhere but towards the bottom. I just think if they let Taumalolo play 70 minutes per game, that will make a difference. So,
yeah, and that's the word, right? The word is that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Why would you not, right?
Yeah.
You got the Ferrari, let it out.
Well, and Peyton tried to protect him last year, and they stunk.
Yeah.
He didn't like it, and let's hope they're a little bit better. But yeah, it's to me it's a race in three. It is Cows, Tigers, and Dogs. But we will see. We will see. All right, we're going to go to the other end of the ladder now, and we're going to go who we think is going to make the grand final. Now, like you said, there's a few changes, and the top six are probably roughly the same as last year, I think. But I have the Roosters v the Rabbits making the GF this year, and I think that for the Roosters, it's all about Keary being fit, and then Sam Walker making it through a season, and the Rabbits being able to fill that hole at halfback.
Wow. That's a bit surprising for me, right? I think the Rabbits will struggle a bit without, Jaden Sewer and also Reynolds, right? But anyway, I mean, new season, who knows, right? So I don't have either of those teams in the GF.
Excellent.
Which is great, right? So I've gone the top two from my top eight, and I've got Para and Penrith, Battle of the West, right? So I was, until a couple of weeks ago, going to go with Manly, but I just think a little bit like you said, did they catch lightning in the bottle last year, right? So I've gone Para and Penrith. Penrith, I took them back up because I just think that they've got depth, right? More depth than what I probably gave them credit for. So, and if Para's going to get it done, this is the year, right? So, a bit like the Storm ends up with a bit of chaos next year, so does Para, right? There's some players leaving the club, right? So Para, Penrith, and the Eels to win the premiership.
Wow. All right, dude. We are definitely.
I want to know what it's paying. In fact, I've got a bet on already, right? So I just don't know what it's paying.
Nice.
So I put the kiss of death on them.
I'm all for the Battle of the West. That is a NRL marketing dream, but no. So anyway, we'll move on to who we think is going to be the Dally M for this year. I'm going to kick off with who I hope he doesn't, but just the guy is actually just way better than I give him credit for. I just think Nathan Cleary is going to miss a couple of games early. He's just going to win this by 6 points.
Okay, good pick. Look, that's where for me, I think there's a cluster of people who could win this one, right? Cleary is going to be a top runner. Cody Walker, you think in that South team is going to, if they win games, they're going to win games on him. So you got to think he's going to pull a lot of points. But for me, I've gone with, if I think Para's going to get the top spot and take it out, Mitchell Moses is the guy who's going to get that job done, right? So I'm doubling down on the Eels.
Yep.
And Moses is not going to play Origin, so therefore he's going to get those extra couple of games as well, which certainly Cleary's going to miss. So Mitchell Moses is my man for the Dally M.
Good pick, well thought out about Origin. So my two roughies, I've gone with Tedesco and my boy David Fafita to be the roughies for the Dally M this year, but both of them play Origin, so they're going to miss a few.
Well, I love how you're calling Tedesco a roughie, right? I mean, surely he'd be very close to a top 5 pick, right? So roughies. Well, for me, if we're talking roughies, I would be saying Ben Hunt, I think, could be a smoky. If the Dragons play well, I think he would poll a lot of points. And if I'm going a roughie, I'm going to go Nico Hines from the Sharks. If the Sharks are top 6, someone's going to poll points. So he's playing halfback by the looks of things, so he looks like he'll be in a dominant position. So Nico's my absolute smoky.
I like that. I thought he was going to go over at 6, but he's a big halfback, but he looked really good.
He is. Yeah, I agree. I thought he'd be 6'2", but they're trying to get Moylan in, aren't they? Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Won't that be? You know what? We should have a quick bet. Who's going to have the better season, Nico Hines or Matt Burton?
Good question, right? There's a podcast in itself. Look, I know you're anti-dog, right? You're a cat lover. But hey, we all are. But I'm going to take Matt Burton on that one because I think this guy is a future Freddie Fiddler. I think he's just a super player, right? So he's my boy on that one.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not an anti-Matt Burton. I think he is a future superstar. I just think it's next year that he will be better because he'll get a little bit more help around him. I think this year he's going to get targeted and he just won't have the year that he should have because I love Matt Burton. I think he's a superstar. But I'm going to go Nico Hines just because he's in a better team and I think he's going to have a better year than Matt Burton. So, all righty, that was a good one I just threw in there. So, top point scorer. I'm backing up with my Dally M pick and I'm going Cleary again.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. So I'm no one I've spoken of before. I think Manly are going to be a great attacking team. They're going to score a lot of tries, so therefore I'm taking Ruben Garrick as the top point scorer for this year.
Well, he was close last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I don't even remember who won it last year, to be honest, right? But
me neither.
He might have even won it, right? But he scored a lot of tries last year too, right? So everyone in Manly scored tries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of scoring a lot of tries, I have my top try scorer as what I think a lot of people think is a roughie. But honestly, a 20-year-old state of origin player going from the shit Broncos to the Storm system, Xavier Coates, is going to just towel it up this year.
Wow. Okay. I see a big difference there in Coates versus the Fox. I just don't see Coates being as fast as the Fox, right? So we can see him supporting Pappenhausen and getting a bunch of tries that way. And because of exactly that same logic, I see Tommy T, Jason Saab being my top try scorer for 2022. So I'm taking Jason Saab, the turncoat ex-Dragon, but I cannot doubt his capability, right? So he's my man for that.
No, fair point, mate. And look, I don't know what he did between the Dragons and Manly, but somehow he worked out how to catch the ball. And
That's true.
Massive difference. So
yes, correct. Rookie of the year?
Rookie of the
Sam
year.
Walker. Yes, no.
Well, you can't go twice, right?
Well, it's never been done before, right? So
no, it hasn't. Someone's got to be.
It's always the first time. Yeah, correct. So,
I'm actually going to go a real roughie for Rookie of the Year. I'm going Xavier Savage from the Raiders.
interesting. I hadn't really put a lot of thought into the Rookie of the Year because, you know, there's always some smoky that you really haven't seen come through, right? You know, so, but in saying that, I'm going to say the young centre for Penrith, Tago.
Right.
So he's stepping in a great team. So I think he's going to have an opportunity to make a difference and set up a lot of tries for the Penrith team.
Yeah, nice.
Looks quick.
We went off a bit off script there a little bit at the end, but anyway, we're all good. So, all right, well, that's our pre-season show. That's a wrap. What we'll do very quickly will be a round one preview, and yeah, we'll get into that in the next few days. All right, folks, have a good one.
Footy's back. Enjoy the footy.